Dave, beam me to the workshop. Hi guys, welcome back to the workshop. We're continuing to work on Gale Force 9's game Star Trek Away missions. We are working on the Gowron expansion, and we are actually working on Gowron himself right here. Okay, so let's just hop back into it and see where we go. Okay, so I think I'm going to take the regiment brush and we're going to take the Rhinox Hide Brown. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Put some of that on the palette. Touch water, thin it down. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint the hair. So I know that Klingons are usually more of a dark-haired race. They are usually either a very, very dark brown or actually black. For Gowron, I know that he has a really dark brown. So what we're doing is we are going to paint darkest brown, the darkest brown that I have. Look at him popping right off the handle. It's crazy. All right. We're going to give that a second or two to dry. And we're going to wash the brush, which you can't see off camera. And there we go. We're going to take the Nuln oil. And we are going to give the hair a very heavy wash because we want it to that deep dark browns. Keep moving it around, making sure it gets into all the nooks and crannies. And as it dries, we're kind of adding another black layer on, black wash layer. So we can kind of keep darkening down the hair. But for the most part right now, we're just going to leave it be. We'll come back, give it maybe another round black wash. So again, to darken down the brown again. There we go. So in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of armor trim that we see on him. And for that, just take lead belcher. Don't need a lot of it. We're going to use the Vallejo Zero. A little bit of water, help it flow. he doesn't have a lot of armor showing, so there's not a lot of silver that'll be going. I'll be going onto Gowron. That's pretty much it. That's all he needs for his silver, except for the silver on the disruptor barrel. So interesting. Trying to get into all the little nooks and crannies. There we are. The hair is almost dry. We'll worry about the facial hair later on. Yeah. Gowron is coming along quite nicely, I think. He'll be ready to take his place among the miniatures for Gale Force 9's Star Trek Away missions. And I tell you, there's a lot of expansions. I mean, the original game, or the base, I should say, not the original game, but the base game. The base game comes with 4 Federation officers, which is Will Riker, Data, Worf, and Commander Shelby. And then you have 6 Borg, and it's Star Trek Away Missions Wolf 359. So that's where in the timeline it takes place. But the expansions are the Captain Picard expansion, which comes with Picard, Troy, Wesley, Dr. Crusher, and Geordi LaForge. So it finishes off your bridge crew for the Next Generation crew, which is pretty cool. And then you have the Gowron Klingon set, which comes with Gowron, Crom, Lucara, and Kurak. So 2 female Klingons and a male Klingon. So your party is nicely split half and half. Half female, half male, which is cool. And then there is the Duras set, which comes with the sisters, the Duras sisters, which is Lursa and Baitor. And I haven't seen who the other Klingons. They come with 3 Klingons. I don't know who they are yet. That's okay. Then there is the Kirk expansion, and that comes with Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Bones, and Chekhov. And then you have the Scotty expansion, which comes with Scotty, Uhura, Sulu, and then they chose Lieutenant Leslie. And I'm not exactly sure why, because he's a pretty deep cut from the Star Trek, the original series franchise, but there it is. Oh, and then there is the Romulan expansion, which comes with Sela, which is the daughter of Tasha Yar, and that's a whole thing in one of the episodes, or in 2 of the episodes, in Star Trek the original, or Star Trek the Next Generation. And yeah, so right now we're painting Gowron from the Gowron expansion set, and before that we did Dr. McCoy from the Kirk expansion set. I haven't painted anything from the base set yet, but that'll come eventually. Okay, so let's see if we can find okay. I have an idea for him. So we're going to start with the usual Bugsman Glow, but we're going to be a little bit different with it. I am going to put make things look bigger. Okay. I'm doing this so that I have just a little bit more control when I get into the hairline. we have facial hair that we'll need to deal with later. And we're just gonna kind of give them kind of an all over hair or skin color. There we go. We're gonna worry about the facial hair a little bit later on. So we're going to just take the Bugsman Glow and we are going to stop at that point. We're going to take the Reikland Flesh Shade. And we are going to give the face fairly heavy wash. Make sure we get it in all the crevices of the forehead ridges. The mouth, the eyes. A little bit everything. Make sure that we, this is one of the reasons why we're doing the facial hair later. Kind of want to do the messy parts. There we go. Give that a moment or two to dry up. And while we wait for that, we are going to pull Kurok, one of the other Klingons from the set. We're going to give her a little bit of a workup too. So it's not just Gowron you get to see getting done. And what we're going to do is we are going to take our Blood Reaver flesh, the number 0 Vallejo, a little bit of that, put it on our palette. Thin it down, almost wanted to wash, but not quite that thin. And we are going to all over the skin. We are going to give her that color. Cool thing is that what I like about the Klingon sets is that the forehead ridges on the Klingons are actually somewhat individualized. They're not exactly the same for each Klingon. They actually try and mold them to how they are in the show. Now we're going to take Juji Violet, we're going to kind of do the same thing. Now we're going to give her a heavy wash of this color. I want to make sure that all of the color gets into the ridges and then into the eye sockets. There. And we're going to leave her off to the side to dry. We're going to take a look at Gowron here. See how he's coming along. It's beginning to almost dry up, which is good. So what we can do is, while we're waiting for that to finish drying, you can actually go ahead and take the Nuln oil and give another nice thick another thick shade. Go. Let's darken it down a little bit more. We should be getting good to go. Now, where is my I have a color called Mornfang Brown, which is just about the perfect color for Klingon weapons. Said it's just about perfect. And, you know, me being a Klingon, or at least a Klingon aficionado, I was quite happy to find this color. And we're going to go back to Kurak. Because she has weaponing. She has weapons that require this the same color. There we are. It's time to turn on the light. Make sure that I'm not getting paint where I don't want it. Oh. Lots of little finicky bits. Making sure that you're getting your colors in the right spots and you're not too overzealous. But, you know, if that happens, again, just go back to the previous color and work yourself back up. No big deal. There we are. There we are. Put her off to the side for the moment. Go back to Gowron, because that's who we're all here to see. Okay. We'll be back to the Bugman's Glow. Thin that down. Now we're going to go in. We're going to start highlighting Just a little bit of Chiron just doesn't like to stay on his stand. And that's okay. We go to our next highlight, which is Arcadian Flesh. Which you're probably going to mix a little bit. Basically, we're just going to hit the very tips. Then we take just a small amount. A straight kitty in a flash. Do kind of the same thing to the fingers. Is that mid-tone? Quick dusting. There we are. Now we're going to deal with the facial hair. And we're going to take the Rhinox hide again. But this time we're going to use our detail brush. Take a little bit of the Rhinox hide. Be very, very careful. We are going to do our very best to be as careful as possible. There we are. And really the last thing we have to do is some highlights, and the most important part, and we're going to go a couple minutes over for this, and that's fine, is we're going to do his eyes. We're going to do Gowron's eyes. And for that, I have been immensely enjoying the Vallejo Ghost Gray. Vallejo Game Color Ghost Gray. I've been thoroughly enjoying that as my base for my whites and base for my, and actually painting the eyes. Because eyes aren't actually white. You can paint them white if you want to. Nobody's going to stop you. But yeah. And my secret weapon for doing eyes, 0.1 pin. Super, super thin. And, well, There's a few more things, but for all intents and purposes, there is Chancellor Galron for the Gale Force 9 Star Trek Away Missions game. There more. Like I said, just a few little highlights. Nothing big. You've seen those a million times. But we'll show them again. So, in the meantime, stay safe, be safe, most of all. Paint safe. That means don't drink the water, because that would be a big mistake. And we'll see you next time in the workshop.